Hello there, and you're very welcome to this rather warm Friday in the middle of July here in Carrickmacross. It's been quite a heat spell here. I don't think it's rained for at least 10, maybe 11 days. But as you can see, we've still got some water in the IBC tanks from the watering system, and the polytunnel is here doing away well. I thought it was time to give you a wee update on what's been happening in the garden, so I'll give you a wee tour around. First thing you'll notice is the green netting on the polytunnel. This is a shade netting because during this heat wave, the one day the temperature in the polytunnel was up to 42 degrees Celsius, and that's far too hot, even for the tomatoes and the strawberries and the peppers. So I put the shade netting on. It keeps the temperature down by a few degrees, but every little helps. As we come into the polytunnel, you'll see there's a lot of green. Everything looks relatively healthy. I'm just going to check the temperature on the thermometer in here. It's reading, what's that? About 34 degrees. So that's pretty warm. The watering systems are doing well. This one here on the right is for the tomatoes, so the gravity fed watering system. The solar powered system from irrigation is working really good. It drips water into the hanging baskets every 3 hours, and the sunnier it is, the more water they get. It's pretty hot for the strawberries, to be honest, so some of the fruits are quite small, but we've been getting strawberries for 2 or 3 months already in here. As you can see, there's loads of tomatoes, and they are at various stages. Once they go that lovely bright golden orange, we pick them. I've had about 5 or 6 kilos already. While we were away on holiday, quite a lot of them became a bit sun-dried on the vine, but they're okay. They're in the deep freeze ready for soup. Down here the pepper plants are coming out well. They love the heat, and again they're on the same gravity fed watering system as the tomatoes. There's a huge crop on this yellow pepper, so that should be starting to turn yellow in the next week or so. This little fella was in the greenhouse for a time. He's a bit stunted, but he'll come out. This is a red pepper. Here outside I have one remaining bed of peas. The reason that they're all caged up like that is because the first batch was mown down by a hungry and thirsty hare one evening. Totally stripped out all the little shoots and left nothing left. So I had 2 other raised beds here behind with peas. They were also caged in, but I've actually harvested them last weekend when I came back from Scotland on holiday, and they are in the freezer. These 2 beds of parsnips are coming along nicely. They've got a long way to go. It's only July. It should really be August into September, maybe even as late as October before I harvest them. They're all green. If you actually dug one up, there'd be very little underneath. Moving further on, the carrots are a disaster this year. Don't know what's happened to these. They're just not growing at all. They're getting well watered as best I can in this heat wave, but they're just not thriving. Over here, the cauliflowers are actually doing pretty well. I've actually picked I've already picked 3 of them, and they're in the deep freeze. And these guys could really be harvested any day now, because the actual cauliflowers are coming at. They've been quite a success this year. Putting them in here with the butterfly net and the weed suppressing fabric has actually worked really well. Been very impressed with that. Not sure if we showed you this bit before, but we did some work on here. We got some turf. We've re-turfed this, got the metal planter and planted it all up, took away the bird feeders and painted the fence. So this is quite a lovely little spot here now in the shade under the trees. We also got the tree surgeons in to do some work, tidy up the trees, and some of the branches were a bit close to the shed and the greenhouse, so we've got them trimmed back. We also replaced the 2 compost bins with these 2 hot compost bins, so time will tell how that's going to work, but that's supposed to make compost quicker, so we will see. We can report back on that in the future to you. They weren't cheap. We're still planning to do some work over in the far corner where the old shed was, but at the moment here we've got the 3 apple trees I planted in Edinburgh from apple seeds. They seem happy enough. And these little beauties are the Bidens. Love them. Beautiful coloured flowers. The bees absolutely love them as well. Really nice. I got some small ones from the local garden centre that's in a window box, but these actually came from Lidl and they are doing really well. And now of course we'll come on to the fruit trees. There's always a bit of a story with my fruit trees. I don't know why. Never seem to just go quite to plan. These 4 apple trees have all lost their leaves. There's loads of, well, there was loads of fruit on them. To be fair, I did go through and take off like every second just to make sure that they thrived. They still seem to be growing and they're actually going ripe. They're ripening red very quickly in this heat, but they're very, very small, as you can see. So I think, as normal, it's going to be a steep learning curve with the fruit, especially the apple trees this year. However, we've got success on the pears. This conference pear tree is about 4 years old. For the last 3 years it's always given me 1 pear on this little branch, and it's always really nice. But this year it's given a few more. I'm not sure if you can see that, but so that's 3 at least. Oh, I've just spotted 2 more. 5. Another 5 pears this year coming on that one. And then we had more fruit trees that I just bought this year. Pear, nothing on that. Elstar apple, nothing. This is a Gala apple, nothing. And this is a Braeburn, and I had 2, but we've still got, where is it? 1 pretty good sized looking apple, still green. I always thought Braeburns were red. Maybe in time that'll ripen up, but it's coming at. Not the usual beautiful display of roses that I've come to expect. They've still got black spot. Even sitting out here in the breeze, got black spot. Don't know what's going on. Tried everything. I moved some of them into the polytunnel, but it was just far too hot for them down there. So next season will be plan C or plan D by now, and things will be changed. And I suppose lastly on this little tour is the fedge, the fence hedge of willow. Suffering a little bit in the heat, but it's taken really well. Certainly showing signs of greenery and growth. Trying to water it best I can with the conditions that we've got. The one down on the second terrace is really impressive. Colin did a very good job in planting them. Okay folks, so that was a quick tour around the garden, a wee update for you here in the middle of July. It's far too hot to be out here doing filming, so I'm going to call it a day, head down and get this edited. I hope you can hear me. I've got my new DJI mini mic, Bluetooth connected to the phone. Should make things easier and quicker for filming these little videos for you. Hopefully I'll see a few more. Special thank you to special someone, that was a present for my birthday. Okay, take care, and until next time, we'll see you later. Bye for now.